Facts versus truth. It is a fact that things will not always be the same. It's a fact that everything will not always occur the way you want it to occur. But the truth is that it doesn't have to stay the same way. I want to share with you about keys to overcoming crisis. Because there are moments we find ourselves in crisis. There are moments we find ourselves in different kinds of crisis. Financial crisis, emotional crisis, family crisis, and so on. And I want us to come up with ways we can deal with crisis. I had a few things that I prepared for you, and I want to share with you. Now, listen to this. We're in different seasons, so don't borrow or compare notes. It is always tendency for us to, check with people. This is what I'm going through. Have you ever been through this? What did you do? And people will tell you what they did, and it may not work for you. And so different seasons bring different experiences, and the different experiences, are dealt with in different ways. Crisis is not a permanent condition. It is not there to stay. It is not there to stay forever. But it's something that you are going through, and there are things you ought to get out of the whole experience that should change your story as well. Crisis is the human description, but actually to God there is no crisis. It is to us that we look at things, look at the world and so on and so forth. And the world is in different crises and stuff like that, but you will discover to God it was never a crisis. It was never a surprise to God. Jeremiah 29 verses 11 says, I knew you, I have a good plan for you. I knew you, so I had a good plan for you. He says in the book of Galatians, Apostle Paul, he says, before I was even formed in my mother's womb, he had a plan for me. He already ordained me. He already set me aside for what I'm doing right now. God has a plan for your story. Now, I want you to get three things today about crisis that will help you and change your story forever. Number one is that seasons have power and they always guarantee change. But the first thing I want you to notice is that every crisis causes change. Every crisis causes change. Now, nobody likes change. There is no one who is ever comfortable when change comes in. But the problem and the difference between us is how we handle the change, how we handle issues, how we take care of issues. So when crisis comes in, how we adjust to the things that are happening is the thing. It's actually the key thing. Keys to handling crisis is that they will always provoke change. They will always bring and cause change. But how we respond to the crisis and how we respond to the changes is the key. Now look at this. Let's pick a practical example. You used to earn this much money and things have changed. The kind of work you used to do no longer brings that much money, or the kind of job you are employed is no longer bringing either as much money or it's no longer there. So it brings a crisis where there was this kind of lifestyle that was already developed, but it's no longer there. The fact is that your life has changed. The fact is that things have changed around you. The truth is that it doesn't have to affect you to the negative. The truth is that you can learn a new way of getting out of the crisis and create a new platform. The Bible talks about the story of a Christian should be upward and forward. The star of a Christian, the star of a child of God should shine brighter and brighter at every passing day, awaiting to the day of salvation, the day of the return of Jesus Christ. The story of a Christian should be from glory to glory and from faith to faith. The child of God, that is your story. And when things happen around you, that's the thing that eats us up because we don't know how to deal with it. We have this confession of faith. Yes, we believe that God has a good plan for us, but what happens when things don't happen the way you want it to happen? You can learn how to use the circumstances around you to provoke and trigger a greater dimension of your life. Crisis will always bring change. Crisis will always cause change, but how you respond to the changes is the key thing. Number two key is that You must outlast your season. Seasons are temporal. Seasons are temporal. They come and they go. You know that seasons of rain, seasons of sun, drought, seasons of heat, they come and they are short-lived. You must come up with a way of outlasting your season. You are meant to outlast every season you go through. You are meant to go beyond it. The Bible talks about in Ecclesiastes chapter 3 verses 1 that there is time for everything. In verses 2 says verses 1 and 2 talks about seasons of life. It talks about everything under the sun has a time and has a season and has a purpose. And it says there is time to be born and time to die, time to laugh and time to cry. You can read the rest of the chapter, and the Bible says the seasons will come. The changes will come. But you must know that seasons are temporal. You must outlast your season. You must go beyond. You must be intentional about going beyond your season. Don't let it crush you. Make any necessary adjustments. Make any necessary changes that may be required at that moment. But I want you to know, every time you make this adjustment, it's not meaning, or it's not a reason. It's not the truth that you are going down. It's only a fact that you need to make a few adjustments for now. Let me use a practical example. I say, look at every man that goes for long races, the world champions and so on. It's a fact that they have to do away with certain foods and certain lifestyles. There are things that they have to sacrifice. That's a fact. But the truth is that they don't have to sacrifice them forever. You know, they limit their sleep times, they practice, they make certain disciplines, but it's not permanent. It's just temporal until they win the world champion, until the medal is around their neck, until they are winners. After that, then they don't have to push their bodies, push themselves to that level or to those disciplines. It is a fact that it is so right now. But the truth is that it is temporal. You must outlast your season. And finally for today, fruits are seasonal. You can work and not see the fruit. Don't leave the leaves. It's evidence the tree is alive. Seasons of fruitfulness is coming. Did you hear that? Fruits are seasonal. You can work and not see fruit. But leave the leaves there. Okay? Learn from the tree. Even though drought comes, it never loses the leaves. And even those that lose the leaves, the season of drought, when the season of winter, when the season of drought comes, they don't lose in touch with the ground. They stay in touch with the ground because they know it's a season. When the season of drought, the heat, the winter goes, the leaves come back, the fruit comes back. You may work right now and not see the fruit. Don't quit on what you are doing. Keep on pushing. It's just a season. And now that means when the season of fruit shall come, because there is always a season of fruitfulness. When the season of fruit shall come, now you're investing. I'm thinking about that guy who wakes up early in the morning, going for gym, going for jogging, jumping up and down, running down the road and so on and so forth, working out so that they may be in perfect shape for the day of fruit, which is the world championship. When they win the race, they took months to prepare. But the race was only a few minutes or a few hours. The World Cup, the title is now there. The gold medal is there now theirs. Now look at them. The sacrifice was worth it. You may be working and you're not seeing fruit. Don't quit on it. It's the season of fruit that has not come yet. It is coming soon and you will see the fruit. Don't forget, it's just a fact what you're going through. It's not permanent. The truth is permanent, and that you're coming out better than you came in. God bless you, and may God give you the grace to outlast your season. Thank you.